Hey guys, welcome back to Crime Stories with Yvonne. Okay, this case, I don't even know how to start. Imagine a man only 20 years old who spent years luring children, killing them, and even admitted to drinking their blood. And just when you think justice is about to serve, he escapes police custody and ends up lynched by villagers. It's like a horror movie, but it actually happened here in Kenya. This is the story of Masten Wanjala. So, who exactly was Wanjala? He was born in 2001, and on the surface, he looked like any other young man, but deep inside, there was something dark brewing. Psychologists will probably say he showed traits of antisocial personality disorder, no empathy, no remorse, just this thrill he got from controlling and hurting others. His crime started around 2016. He was barely a teenager himself, and yet he was already targeting kids younger than him. Think about that for a second. He wasn't even 18, but he was already killing. Here's how he did it. Wanjala posed as a football coach, and of course, kids love football. It's the easiest way to gain trust. He'd invite them to play, earn their confidence, then take them away. Once he had them, police say he'd drag them, sometimes forcing them to drink substances or spraying chemicals to make them weak. Then he'd strangle them or hit them. In some cases, he demanded ransom from parents, and in one of the most disturbing parts, he even admitted to drinking his victim's blood. That's why the media started calling him bloodthirsty vampire. He said he got pleasure from killing. That's literally the definition of a sadistic killer. Criminology tells us that some offenders are hedonistic. They kill for the thrill, for the satisfaction. Wanjala fits that pattern perfectly. He killed at least 10 children, maybe more. Most were between 12 and 13 years old. Bodies were later found in thickets, sewer lines, and even manholes. It's heartbreaking to think how many families kept searching for their children, not knowing he had already taken them. In July 2021, police finally caught up with him. They arrested him in Nairobi, and at first it looked like a breakthrough. He confessed to the killings and even led detectives to the sites where he had dumped the bodies. 5 bodies were actually recovered because of him. You'd think, okay, at least now justice can start. But nope, just 3 months later, in October, the unthinkable happened. Wanjala was being held at Jogoo Road Police Station on the night of October 12th. There was a blackout. The lights were out, and the officers had to use their phones to count prisoners. Somewhere in that confusion, he just walked out. He literally strolled out of custody, and nobody noticed until the next morning. How does that even happen? This is a confessed serial killer, and he just slipped away. It honestly makes you wonder, was it pure negligence or did someone inside help him? I need to pause here because this case says so much about two things: crime and trust. First, on the psychological side, Wanjala's behavior is a classical case of psychopathy. He manipulated, he enjoyed the suffering, and he admitted it. The lack of empathy is chilling, but then there's the criminology angle. In many serial killer cases, we see a cooling off period. They kill, they stop, and then they kill again. Wanjala kept doing it over years, which means this wasn't some accident or impulse. It was patterned, deliberate. Second, on the system, how does a country's justice system handle someone like him? Well, in this case, it didn't. The police failed, and when institutions fail, people take justice into their own hands. That's exactly what happened next. 2 days after he escaped, school kids in his home village spotted him at a football match. They recognized him, the same coach story, and alerted adults. Within minutes, a mob formed. They chased him, cornered him in a house, and beat him to death before police even arrived. That was it. Masten Wanjala, the so-called vampire of Nairobi, never made it to trial, and the reactions families of victims were torn. Some felt relief, at least he could never harm another child. Others were angry because he died with secrets. So many children were never found. How many families never got closure? The police officers who were on duty that night were later charged with aiding his escape. Their trial is still dragging on, so accountability is still a question mark. What really sticks with me about this case is how it shows the two faces of justice. On one side, the system failed, a confessed killer escaped because of negligence. On the other side, the community delivered what they saw as justice, even if it was brutal. And I keep thinking, what does this say about us as a society? When people lose faith in institutions, they turn to mob justice. It's scary but also understandable in this context. So that's the story of Western Wanjala, a killer who lured kids with football, confessed to blood chilling crimes, escaped in the dark, and met his end at the hands of the same community he once hunted. What do you think, guys? Was mob justice the only way here, or should we have faced trial? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching Crime Stories with Yvonne. Stay safe, stay curious out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.